Hey, what's up out there, everybody? Today, I kind of want to take a different spin than I normally would about things and with my posts, and I haven't done something in a while, but this is something that's kind of bothered me, and I will continue to do a little bit of what I haven't done, but I just want to, you know, put a little different spin on different things, and I kind of want to do a little more. Where what kind of inspired this a little bit. Earlier today, or yesterday now. I'm just getting in from but earlier today I heard like um some gunshots that were rather close to a friend's house of mine, and it was kind of like brushed off as really nothing. We just kind of like stopped and was like, "Oh, did y'all hear that?" And man, what was that? Sounds like gunshots, and he just kind of brushed it off. But it really got me thinking now, as I got in that it's becoming more of a common thing that was so easily brushed off, and that was something that was so common. There's something that's becoming so frequently within our community, especially like me. I live in a fairly quiet neighborhood. Like growing up, it was a lot quieter than it was now, and it still is rather quiet, but it is becoming more and more, you know, of a day-to-day thing. I remember a time when I was growing up, that we had block parties, and then that now we almost. I don't think I've ever heard of that within the past 5 or 6 years of my life, at least, of us having that. You know, there are less and less that I can look around and look out and see children playing with each other, hear the laughter of children playing, playing with one another in the neighborhood, just with everybody, not just, you know, certain families or little kids playing in their yards, but just running around like enjoying themselves. Because the state that we live in this day is not safe anymore, or it's just becoming more and more violent, and it's mm, sorry, but it's rather troubling to really think about it. That this is the what we've come to. That now, after so long, we are at a level, or probably the one of the highest levels of equality in the black community, where we have a black president, and yet still we are fighting amongst ourselves. And I really want to really stress this more, mainly not to the black community, but not just the black community, but to all of society, but mainly the black community, because it's where it's most prevalent. It's where we see we are, destroying ourselves. We are bullying, our own people. We are attacking ourselves, and it's like, what is the deal? Like, what does it come to? And I know everybody, may not be seen eye to eye. There's wars that's gone on for centuries. There's, we've people will never be. Everybody will never be just friends, but it's got to come to a point when we can at least learn to get along. Learn to be like, you know what, I may not like you, but that don't mean that I have to, pop off at you. That don't mean that I have to, you know, take a person, another person's life. It's not that deep. It can't be. It really ain't. Like, um, it's rather troubling to even really think about it. That this is what we see, and it's everywhere. Like, we hear about it so much that it's just like people have just become desensitized to the fact of violence and hatred that's everywhere. Everywhere you look around, you can hear it, you see it. And I know, like, I can't be the only one that feels that this has got to be enough is enough. Like, when will we come to the point when we can say, hey, you know what? Let's talk about it. Let's do something. And too much is going wrong that we're, I don't know if we're just waiting for a savior. We're waiting for a hero. We're waiting for something in, to change it. But this is reality. There is no Superman. No one's going to save the world. No one's going to save us. We have to, learn to save ourselves, and we don't have to wait for the next catastrophe to like want to hold hands and stand up for each other. Let's not wait for the next Katrina or the next tsunami or the next Haiti incident or something like that to hit America or something like this to hit our own backyard before we can say, okay, let's help one another. Let's elevate. Let's change something. Let's do something. We have to come to that point where we can at least address this because long enough it's gone on that too much of this being swept under the rug and it's not being addressed it's not being addressed in our homes. It's not being addressed so much in our schools. It's not being so. I think I've seen something on the news the other day when there was a little boy and he was attacked and he was I believe he was a second grader and two fifth graders like attacked the little boy and they hung him in a bathroom and the boy was in the hospital for a while and he was like in critical condition and it was like something that was directed towards his older brother as well and it's gotten to be his point like what are we teaching our children and I'm not that old, but I can say that now. What are we teaching our children? What are we teaching the generation underneath us? Is this what we want for them? Is this what we want for our little brothers and our little sisters, our nieces, our nephews? You know, you know, our friends. Whatever. Like, is this what we want for them? Like, surely we may have all not have had the best of lives, the greatest of upbringings, but is this what we want for them? Like, what are we leaving them? Surely there has to be something, some shred of humanity, some shred of decency within us that we have to want better for ourselves. And by ourselves, I'm not only meaning our own person, but our family, our brothers and our sisters, our friends, our family, our brothers are our human being, another human being. Just not saying that we won't all get along. I understand that like wars have been fought for centuries on end. It's not the first thing to ever hear about. It's not it's not the first. It's going on for a while, but it's becoming so prevalent that it's not even affecting us. Like we're not even affecting the people. Are not even phased that the violence that we see day to day, and it's just it's just sickening. It's a little unnerving. It's a little disturbing. It's rather frustrating that this is what we're coming to. This is what our world is coming into. This is what the land that was supposed to be that we were really to be founded upon freedom and liberties that we lacked so long ago, and we are not reaping the harvest of that. We are not taking advantage of that. We are rather we're taking from each other. We are, tearing away from the very fabric, the very foundation that we were built upon, what we are here for. I don't think that everybody is going to be friends. I don't expect everybody to be friends. I am not everybody's friend, but I don't believe that it takes for me to, pop off on somebody, physically attack another individual. If you don't get along, we just don't get along. Let's agree to disagree. Let's, so if you don't, you know, mix well with the people, then let's just understand why you don't agree with the person and keep it moving. It's not that deep. Like we're really we're tearing away at each other, and it's like, what? What is the purpose? What is it worth? What are we gaining really? You know, a couple of dollars, maybe. Some. You know, you got into with someone at the club or some girlfriend or boyfriend or whatever it may be. But it's not. It can't be that serious. It really can't be, like, for real, for real, for real. Like, it's got to be a point that we say enough is enough. It's got to be a point that somebody takes a stand and says, like, you know what, whatever. Let's squash it. It's not worth that. It's sad that now when you look around in a graveyard, there, if you really count, there are probably more people in the graveyard that you know are there from someone else taking their life, or they've been bullied and picked on, and pretend that they've taken their own lives. And there are more of us dying from unnatural causes than natural causes, and are dying of old age. And it's like, it's too much. Like, for real, it's really not that. And I'm not saying that I'm going to be trying to make myself like I'm a perfect individual, because nobody is perfect. But it's just like, whatever it may be, let's come to one with, like, hey, let's talk about it. Let's address it. If we can't talk about it, let's take it to a higher, if whatever spiritual belief you may have. And if you don't have any, then hey, I respect that too. But let's do something about our community. Let's do something about the world that we are shaping for people, you know, the children underneath us, and the younger generation that's behind us. Like, it's so sad. It's like you don't hear that. Like, I can't. The little kids can't play like they used to because of being afraid that something might happen, of gunshots and the wars that we, in the senseless nonsense, the senseless, you know, bull that is going on. And it's not really solving nothing. It's not bettering nothing. It's not going to it's not getting us anywhere. It's only tearing away at us. It's like, what are we going? When is it going to be enough? When is it going to be a point where we can say, you know what, yeah, like, it ain't worth it, or it's not. When can we, like, be a bigger person and learn to walk away? And where can we help to elevate our brothers? Why can we help to educate one another? Why can't we help to strive to help each other? Not necessarily, I'm not saying that you gotta be give someone the shirt off your back or whatever, but just to be a genuine person. Like, have some sense of humanity, some sense of compassion. Where is the love that we've gotten to this point that we are hating each other? And I know that a lot of stuff has to do with people take on so much. And when you take on so much negativity, sometimes we produce that and we project it to others. And just from me saying, from one person to another, from one man to another man, from one man to woman, let's try to change that. Like, we may not be able to change everybody, but let's try to reach that one. And if you can reach that one, then maybe they can reach another. But we have to learn to change the way we live. We have to, day to day, we have to strive for that. Let's change the way we live. Let's change the way we think. And let's change the way we treat each other. Like, let's really go for that. It's 2011. I know people have many theories of maybe how this world is coming to an end, but if this is going to be our last days, then you know what? Let's make the best of it. Let's live it up to the fullest, and let's not take each other out. I really want to hear anybody else's views. If you got to hit me up. I'd love to talk about it, but, like, yeah, we gotta get it out there. Let's just try to change.